is broken. Behind it, I'm choking. On the embers, still smoking. From the hurt that I've been stoking. It's time to let go. Let the ashes grow cold. The same ones that stole what once was whole. Forget the lies that I've been told. All that glitters isn't gold. And they say you just hold on. It's always coldest right before the dawn. But the night is endless and the cold relentless. Sleepless till I'm senseless. Fought but I'm defenseless. What should have kept me warm is everything that caused the storm. All the warnings I ignored and still kept running toward. This door is broken. Behind it, I'm choking. On the embers, still smoking. From the hurt that I've been stoking. Forget the lies that I've been told.
Welcome everybody on our second episode of our podcast Foxxxes Talks. With us is today, as you can see, Debe once again, our second leader in this podcast. Welcome, Debe.
Hello everyone.
And our special guest today is AD Gamer.
Hello.
Our last race was just pure magic, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, for sure it was crazy race for some drivers. For some it started horribly, for others it was normal, but for some the ending is the most important. And I think we'll talk the most about the ending.
That was most
The
important.
start of the race was pretty calm, but the end was just crazy.
Yeah, the changing weather was, I think, the most the key of the whole race, for sure.
Yeah, so as last time we will start with talking a little bit about race. So as you can see in the background, this is what horribly went wrong for Sentex, who crashed us on the first lap, unfortunately. So his race wasn't that long. So we will talk a little bit about race in general, then go through the results quickly. Then we will talk about standings, some topics about league, and then we will move, I think, to the most interesting part of the podcast, which is, of course, prediction for French Grand Prix. And maybe if we have time, we'll go to the topics from in real life Formula One. So, because myself and Sentex doesn't have much time in the races, I crashed on lap 4. So maybe our guest, AdGamer, maybe you will tell us some...
Your point of view of this race.
Yeah.
My point of view, yeah, the first like 4 or 5 laps were a bit chaos. Start of the race, some people were spinning, some people were adjusting, going quite slowly. A lot of people got taken out. For example, Sentex was taken out in turn 1, which was unfortunately because he had really good pace in quali, I have to say. And I think In the middle part of the race was a bit boring. It was a simple Spanish GP, the quite low overtaking and just slowly going throughout the laps. But the last two, like 6 laps, I would say, right before Crazy Boy crashed, I think were just chaos. I think Crazy Boy's crashing was unfolded the whole thing. The bug, I think it was a bug with the safety car. The safety car got like 6 laps on track with something crazy, but it had the chance for example, me, Vasid, and I think it was Awoski to pit for Inters. With, I think it was a good but risky choice. I think the strategy and the safety car changed the whole race, and the rain also.
Yeah, about that, because I also find that safety car was bugged, I think, because it was like you were going 3 laps behind it, and then it stopped, and it shows that you should overtake him, and it was like safety car from the beginning. So yeah, it was kind of lucky for you, and we'll talk about this risk. Did you pit on the same lap as Wasser or 1 lap later?
I pitted 1 lap later because I had so Crazy Boy had DNF and he was talking to me at the same time. I was basically yelling at him to tell me what to do because we had an agreement. If one of us crashes out, we become the race engineer of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was yelling at him to know what we do, if I pit for soft, if I pit for inters. But I decided to pit for Inters and it was the right choice. I think it was the perfect choice. It was a bit racing because the engineer Jeff kept saying it was slicks are the better tire, but
And I
yeah,
think
but
a lot of people felt like this, so yeah.
yeah, it was a risky. Vassar especially pitted like 1 lap before me and had to maintain those tires. I remember when the safety car, because we had to pass safety car like in the same amount of times, like 2 or 3 times. I overheat the tires a lot actually. I became like 80, between 80 and 100 degrees on intermediates are not good. So we just backed off the throttle and maintained tire temperatures with in the end my inters were really worn out, and I think it was perfect last 2 laps if you guys like entertainment.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and one more thing about your point of view and the few last laps, because you pitched the lap later in Vassar, so you find yourself behind him. Tell us about the overtake, when how you managed to overtake him in this track in the almost wet condition, and the last I think 3 laps to go.
Yeah, I think Vassar is one of the best drivers in the wet. It's clearly shown, and I think if it wasn't for that mishap in the hairpin when 3 guys were side by side, he went to the outside. I know if guys had all of you basically had slicks, so you ended it off. So I backed out and went on the inside. He was later pushed in the outside, so I passed him there. I didn't even know I passed him because he was so far off the track because of the other drivers. I just sneaked up in the inside and just overtake like 4 cars in one turn. Something crazy, but I think it was pretty. If it hadn't went to the outside, I think I'd finished P2, you'd finish P1, because he had amazing pace and I couldn't catch him.
Okay, so for now I think we'll give you some breath, and yeah, let's start to maybe looking at the results of the race, starting from the bottom, of course.
Hello.
Sentex, once again, really quickly. Not good race,
Again.
Unfortunately. Crash on lap 1. I think Matex could do more to avoid you, but it's racing. Sometimes you have low time to react, and definitely.
Yeah, it was a little bit unlucky, but also I made a stupid decision, so it cost me DNF from the whole race, and I knew that on the T1 is always a risk, so I take it, and I didn't manage to continue my racing, so that's why I finished last. It was stupid decision that I know that I wouldn't. I would not definitely try it on the other races, but definitely I will try to be in a higher position, so it would let me to maybe avoid this position. I know that P4 from current qualifier it was quite good, but it was a little bit problematic because JJ had like not very good start, so it blocked me a little bit. I tried to go from the inside, but I knew that I would not have enough space to go in this turn, so I decided to go on the outside, but there was a very quick Wasserschwein that he just overtake me, and I didn't manage to join the fight, and it is what it is.
Okay, you mentioned the quali results, and I think it was kind of surprising. Like the times weren't that good as someone's expected.
Yeah.
Because I saw on time trial a lot drivers making like 16-0 also. I think top 4
I think
has
115 was the time. That's something crazy.
And then in the quali session we have Orlowski on pole position again with 16-2, which a lot of drivers made in the time trial. I know it's different than time trial, but like myself, I made 16.8 when I know that I could easily do 16.5. So yeah, it's like 3/10 gap between the time trial or the pace I know I have to what it was in the quali session. And yeah, something was surprising for you.
Definitely, I can tell from my point of view. I just wanted to join like for the 3 minutes and 30 seconds until the end because the grip was the best then. But I managed to get fuel for the 2 laps, just in case, of course, to make a little bit better lap for the last few seconds of the qualifying. And in both my tries I cut the first corner because I don't know why I have 80 FPS and have some lag, so every single my try was ending like with the invalidation of the lap, so I didn't manage to improve my time, so that's why I finished the 4. But I don't know, maybe the difficulties of the track could be a little bit problematic, and you know, on the time trial you have a little bit more space, you have a better options of the grip, of usage of the wheels, so maybe that's why, I don't know.
I think everyone had that problem. Personally, I did time much slower than I had in time trial, but I think everyone suffered with that. Even Roloski did an amazing time 115, and he did a 116 too. I don't know if the track was dirty or it was a little colder, but I think everyone suffered with that. I don't know why, but it's to deal with it. It was the same conditions for everyone.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to ask one more thing about quali, because Crazy Boy, your teammate, get disqualification in this session, and I want to ask what happened because I didn't saw it, and I was really curious what happened there.
Yeah, he spun in a corner, I don't remember which one, and he tried to rejoin, so he did a half spin, but the game counted it as him going the opposite way and disqualified him.
Okay.
So it's a bit unfortunate he didn't have any fault. It was doing a half spin to turn around, and just the game was a little unfair in that point, but it's the deal. When he finished and he did a good race until he crashed, so.
Yeah, I think he pit for interest like way too early, and that's
yeah, he had the same idea as I did, but the rain didn't help.
Yeah. Okay, so moving up with the results, myself on P19 also crashed like 2 2 races before, nothing to talk about. Moving up again, Vixie, who I think he pitted and retired because
Yeah.
of the damage and getting clapped. So same as Graxen, who decided to retire because he was lapped before the first safety car, and because of this he couldn't unlap himself.
I just want to quick add, if I can, something.
Sure.
I think you'll agree with me that it's pretty sad to looking on the Graxen that he's lapped before the first safety car that was on the fifth lap, if I'm thinking correctly, because you crashed and the first safety car was in the fifth lap, right? So that's amazing that you're looking on the Graxen, one of the fastest and cleanest drivers in the league, that he won last season, and then he's also a lot struggling in this season.
Yeah,
I think it can do two with different games. Because...
Yeah, we will talk about later.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. We will talk. But good you mentioned it because we want to talk about it in the next part.
Okay.
But yeah, and the results. Graxen was slapped. He decided to retire. I think. Yeah, when you get stuck under safety car with being clapped, you don't have big chance to get the points unless other ones like crash themselves, because when you look at the top, they didn't lap anybody, so I mean more, so that means even if Graxen stick with them, he still would be last one. Yeah, but moving up again, JJ. In my press, what? Once again.
Yeah, Syntax Kotok is his teammate, so he knows better.
He was struggling also because he spun, I think, twice or maybe 3 times in the exact same corner in the sector 3, in this fast right corner, and it's good that he didn't get any collisions with anyone, but it cost him a lot. As you can see, it's already 10th lap and he's 15th, so he was struggling a lot, definitely.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I don't think so he was struggling that much. I mean, of course, he spun 2 or 3 times, but every time he did it, he catch up to the rest of the grid. And yeah, he was overtaking them smoothly. Then he get into collision once with Foxxxes and Insidious, and then later with Insidious, which caused him crash and of course DNF, which is unfortunate because I really felt like when I was watching him that he finally have the pace to get some good result, because every time he spun he get back to the points easily, like 1-2 lap time and he was back in the points.
Yeah, because he have an amazing pace and also he know how to overtake, and when he can of course let and use opportunities to get a better positions. And as you said, JJ is always trying to manage to get some points, but some other difficulties that he's meeting on the track, of course, wasn't supposed to let them finish the race again, because exactly the same was in Italy.
I mean, in Italy, I wanted to mention it also. Like in Italy, I thought about him that he's not believing in himself, and you don't see this pace. I know he has it, but I couldn't see it. And here I saw it literally. He was overtaking one by one, and yeah. It was, I think he was finally wake up and could do something great here, but yeah, sometimes it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Every spin he went faster. He spun twice in front of me. He overtook me twice. I think JJ
Yeah.
was a contender driver of the day despite his spins. He was amazingly fast.
Yeah. Okay, moving up, Gummer. Well, that's the driver. I don't know what to talk about because I didn't see the whole race.
He was
almost.
driving his own race, to be honest.
Until he crashed, unfortunately.
Yeah, for his reserve driver, he was driving amazingly.
I think
Yeah,
he just needs to get.
Consistently, but he was doing amazing.
I think he just need to get a little bit more experience of the racing with us, and I think he will show his opportunities to fight.
His true
with others.
potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Crazy Boy. So we already talked about him a little bit because when we mentioned like the whole race. So maybe short sum up, Ed Gamer, maybe you.
Yeah, he had an unfortunate disqualification in the quali. He was fast in the race, all race, but he did. I don't think which one he had a little incident with someone and decided to do an. I don't know what he was thinking, but he put it on Intus way before it was time. He said, "Oh, I'm going to win this, or I'm going to lose it." So he put in Intus way too early, and unfortunately crashed out.
Yeah. Okay. So now Jack, who could have scored some big points, but unfortunately he spun. Yeah, and I want to talk about this a little bit also because it was contact with Rolowski, but in my opinion, Rolowski couldn't do anything there. Like Jack was going much too fast to this corner, and sorry, I looked at the chat. Never mind. Jack was quite too fast in the corner after the DRS straight in wet conditions on softs or mediums. So yeah,
I think it was soft.
yeah, but still it was too fast, and also if he didn't hit Rolowski, then he would go probably almost off track. So definitely not the speed you should go into corner when you're going free wide, because there was also it was probably faster on the right side of Rolowski when the AlphaTauri driver couldn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think Vasid was a bit behind because I was next to him and I saw Jack spin in the distance.
Okay, so someone was also next on the other side of Rolowski there, for sure, and yeah.
No, he was too wide with him. I think just him and Jack. And Jack unfortunately spun.
Maybe
I
we'll
could be saying something stupid, but I think Jack could win this if the rain did not come. I think Jack had a potential, but unfortunately he had some spins also. I had an incident with him. I didn't know what happened. I think Jack has the pace. If not this race, but next race he is capable of winning.
Yeah. Insidious, again, close to points, but unfortunately...
He had a really strong first stint. He was in the top 10 frequently in the first stint, but then the safety car and bunched the field together and unfortunately climbed down the order.
Yeah.
I will say that still Insidious need to get also as a gamer a little bit more experience in racing, like overall. Because sometimes you can clearly see that he's a little bit shaky on the track, and you can't even think what he will do next, and it's kind of difficult to read that, and it looks like sometimes even Insidious don't know what to expect from himself on the track. But I think I saw that he's training a lot, so maybe this training will come over with the results in the next races. So I think he also have potential, but I think we need to give him a little bit more time.
Yeah, he is really fast. I remember the qualification race to get the seat for Haas. He was in the quali was quite close together. But
Yeah, I
think he
remember
needs to
because
be.
I was commentating that.
I think he needs to be more confident on track to learn his space in the track and show his true potential, because he's an amazing driver. He's really fast. I think if he continues to training, like you said, I think he can achieve great things.
Yeah.
Okay, Perfection, who lost points on his own decision when he used, of course, back on track, which is forbidden in this league. And because of the huge penalty, he went off the top 10.
It's
Yeah.
sad because that was his birthday, so I thought maybe he will be fighting for the P1. I don't know, to be honest, why he behaved like this, because everyone know that this back on track is disbanded and you cannot use that. So I have no explanation for that.
Maybe just he didn't think and pressed the button. But I think despite his unfortunate penalty, he did an amazing race. He climbed to P20. He was fighting at the front sometimes, but the rain catched him.
Bartes, who was going for a few laps on P3, so there could be a double podium for McLaren. Yeah, because before last safety car, it was like in top 6 we had 2 McLarens, 2 Williams, and 2 Alpha Tauris. And yeah, they looked good on the tires because they both pit for hards. I think it's the hard they have right now in the video, as you can see. And yeah, they definitely could make it till the end, but the safety car and then the rain like destroyed the dream of double podium for McLaren. So maybe next time. Like, Bartes shows really good pace in the time trials this season in the new game. He's one of the fastest drivers here right now, but in the race there is no enough luck, I think.
As your meme today.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if the race was 3 laps shorter, Bartes would do an amazing position.
Yeah. Also, if the safety car didn't went out, I think you could end this race before the rain comes that much to go for inters.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you were much slower under the behind the safety car.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Matti, also he was P2 and dropped to P9.
Yeah, like I said before, he was and also a good driver, a very good first stint. He climbed a lot of positions, and he's very consistent, which I'm not to be mean, but it shocked me. He's a very fast driver, and he put lap after lap. It was an amazing show for him.
He haven't got any collision in before the safety car, because something went wrong, and I knew from him that he was very angry because he had opportunity to stand on the podium, but the ending didn't went as he wanted.
Yeah, he spun on the penultimate lap, I think. Also, it cost Ovsky losing his front wing, whole front wing before the last lap, and yeah, we'll talk about Ovsky in
later,
one moment.
yeah.
But yeah, Luaniev doing his job, I think, perfectly again, going his own pace, but whenever he can score points, he does it, and he did it once again. This time 4 points, so yeah, great job from him.
Yeah, I think it was a strong race all around for him.
Yeah. Okay, we want to say something, Syntax?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, go.
Yeah. Luaniev is, as you said, second time in the second race in a row, driving with points to home, and it's pretty solid. And it's quite happy to see that this driver is improving. Of course, improving. I mean, like the Asmate is very consistent in his driving that he's of course showing from race to race, and I hope he will stand with this trend in other races too.
Yeah. So our leader Rolowski, unfortunate race for him, but he failed to score some big points, but also his biggest rivals didn't score much points. So what do you think about his race?
I think Roloski had a usual race, dominating quali. In the first part of the race, he dominated as well. But then I think was Nota came to challenge him, and Nota was a quite worthy opponent for him. It was a really close fight between them, and unfortunately, Roloski had a back foot.
Again, Alpine driver on P6 this time. What can you say about Matex Syntax?
Matex on the beginning of the season was talking about that maybe he wouldn't have any chances to score those points, and as we can see, those points for Alpine in the second race in a row, it's pretty solid, and I think it's quite happy to see those guys, even though those brothers driving very consistent, and I hope they will manage to drive it in the other races, as I said when we'll talk about the Luoniev. And I think Matex have the potential to fight for those 5th, 6th places, but sometimes I think he should need to drive a little bit more aggressive, maybe try some overtakes. I surely know that he prefers to drive safely, just driving his own race, but he always managing to drive for those points. And it was very useful for that, because it was almost a sure thing that Matex would have those points. So I think I would love to see in the other races also Matex and Luoniev, as an Alpine of course, driving with the points. That's all from me.
I think Matex had an amazing first stint. He climbed up to be in those position. I remember which position exactly, and he just kept be consistent, didn't do any mistakes, and just kept the position, which is the most important thing. It's the amazing consistency from Matex.
Okay, so first point for this driver, and already big points, because P5 for Bartosz. Yeah, he finally end the race on the place he drive a lot, because it's not first time he is on P5, but as we could see before, he just like to spin and lose this position. One thing I want to talk about with his race is that he pit when the safety car went in the pit lane, so in the in lap of safety car, which I find in that moment it was stupid, because he will lose like 30 seconds probably with it, and suddenly he finished P5.
Yeah, I think it was a statement to see how bad the track was. Even 30 seconds behind, like you said, he still managed to be four. Amazing last 2 laps from him. If he keeps it going, I think he has some potential.
Yeah. Ovski also first points in this season for him. Yeah, it was amazing to watch him in this last lap without front wing. To be honest, I don't know how he did this, because he had Rolowski next to him. I know Rolowski was on the slicks, but
He was overtaking us mad, really, without even a front wing. That it was, when you looked at him, it was so easy to do that, and I'm quite impressive, to be honest.
I can't imagine the amount of understeer he had. Even me with a full front wing, I had a lot of understeer. Him without a front wing, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
And he just did us overtake like a piece of cake. I have huge respect for Oski for that last 2 laps.
That's for sure.
And we are getting to the podium. So Nota, it seems like he finally woke up. Last races, 27 points, I think, for him. So yeah, it's finally the champion from season 1 that we can see right now in the races. And he was leading the race, and probably if there wasn't wet, I think he could hold it till the end.
In this race, he was the only one to challenge Roloski, which is this big task of itself. So, congrats to Nota.
Finally
Okay.
on podium.
Yeah, finally.
Wasserschwein, first podium since the beginning of his racing in the league, because he was with us from the season 1. And yeah, it was his 21st race, and it's his first podium. He took the risk for sure, but it was definitely worth it. And yeah, maybe it's not win, but still P2 for Mercedes driver. Amazing job, I think.
Yeah, Vassar took a risk that we couldn't imagine. Pitting Trinantes in the dry track. I just followed him next. I sent him a message saying I did the lap. I thought you were crazy in the next lap. I thought you were genius. It was a difference of one lap can change the whole race, and Vassar did an amazing job. All race he was in a good position, and the last 2 laps was just pure masterclass from him.
Yeah, he was holding this top, like look right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
22nd lap, and he's P3 in front of Nota and behind the both AlphaTauris. So yeah, he did a great job. And finally, our winner, our guest, AdGamer, first win, much quicker than Vassar for sure, because it was your 4th race in our league. And yeah, I think you scored in every single race, or
I didn't score in the first race.
Okay, but after this you score in the 3 races in a row, which is amazing, and first win.
Thank you.
Big congratulations once again, and yeah, you did amazing job. As you said, it's not that big risk because you follow just Vassar, but
Yeah, it's true.
but you take this decision, and it was right decision.
Yeah, look at just now on the screen. It's like he's 23th lap, and you are
I'm
currently
13th.
on 13th. Yeah, so you managed to jump on the podium and took the P1. So congratulations, definitely. For me, it took it take like 1 season to jump on my first podium and take P1. So you done it so much earlier than me.
Yeah, I have most races in the league, and I'm still without win. It's so sad. But yeah, I hope it's coming this season. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think in the end of the day, it was pure luck from me. The first part of the race, like the first 3 laps were amazing. I jumped from P11 to I think was P6 at the time. Then I had this stupid spin. I still can't forgive myself by that spin. I climbed on the order. Then I had an incident with Jack. He like swerved in front of me. I couldn't understand. Went to the back of the field. I thought, well, I had the same thinking of crazy. I'm going to win this or I'm going to lose it. I put on the Inters, do like 5 laps on a dry track, and I still can't believe I'm saying this. I went to P11 to P1 in 1 lap.
Yeah, you did it.
That's unbelievable.
Okay, let's move to the second part of this podcast. So the standings and situation in the league.
This is how it looks for now.
Yeah, so Roloski, even though he doesn't have so good race right now, he still have a huge gap to P2. Like he has twice more than Vassar, and he's still safe at least for 1 race when he can just don't start and still be a leader. But we have a change on P2, which I mentioned, and P4, of course, which is AdGamer. So Especially Wasser is unexpected runner-up right now, because no one bet on him or expect him to go that high
Yeah,
in the standings.
definitely. But don't worry, I will try to jump on the second place in next race. I hope so. but
Yeah,
it could be difficult.
the midfield, except Rolowski is in a league of its own. uh, I think between second and eighth place there's a 9-point difference. So I think the midfield pack is going to be very interesting this season.
Yeah, for sure. We are heading to the half of the season right now.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot to happen, because I really hope to some drivers scoring big points and getting to the fight until the last round for this championship. I don't want to see Rolowski securing the championship in the next 2 races, because it could be boring next to the end. But yeah, he can make it totally, because
Easily.
maybe not easily.
My money is on him.
I don't want to say it's easy for him, because I know drivers in our league who can compete with him, but they have to drive without mistakes as he does, because he's driving consistently.
If I can say something, I have a question to AD Gamer. If you would say, from our standings, if you see potentially a biggest opponent for Rolowski, who will be that? If you will say.
I think I have to be Jack. Jack is an amazing fast driver, but he had some mistakes and unfortunately had fell down the order. But not to judge anyone, but I think Jack is the runner-up of this championship.
Yeah, I'm asking about your opinion, so yeah, I fully understand it, and I can agree. Jack have a beautiful place, and of course he is able to do that. But for now, it looks like it could be a little bit difficult, because as you said, every potential driver who would battling with the Rolowski have some problems in almost every race, spinning, DNFing or something. So the second half of the season, current season, I think it could be very interesting.
Yeah, one more question to you, AdGamer. Do you think you can fight Rolowski for the championship?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I think Rolowski is in a league of its own. I don't think I'm a midfield driver, to be honest with you. I can't compete sometimes with Notons and JJ. I had my closest fights with in Monaco and now in Spain. But I think I can't compete with Rolowski, and I can't compete with Jack and Prefixian.
Okay, so where do you think you will end in the standings?
It's so close that I don't know, but
okay. So what is your goal to?
I'll be happy to be in the top 10.
Okay.
Let's say.
No, it's like no.
It's hard.
Too much. It's too much. You have to be more precise.
Oh, more precise.
Yeah, top 10 is like half of the grid.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go 3 position range.
Okay, 3 positions. I think I'm still going to improve P7 probably.
Okay.
So from P7 to P4 or P7 to P10?
P8 to P6.
Okay.
It's more safe to say.
I accept this. I accept. Yeah. And now we are moving to the topic you mentioned before, the reason that a lot of drivers struggling this season. Is it the game?
I think it is, because I played. I didn't play that much of F1 2020, but I got the feeling of the handling, and I struggled a bit to translate that into 2021. I think some people have a driving style that suits more of this game, but some don't. And I think why some top drivers last season are down the order. I think that's the reason, because the driving styles of the last game and this game don't have huge differences, but it's the small things that make the lap time. So I think it's the game.
Okay, and Sentex, because you were quite fast last game, and in this game you are still fast in the time trial, but when you look at yourself in race, well, you scored once 25 points with, of course, Amazing Queen in Monaco, but in the other races you DNF like first or second driver.
Yeah. Currently, as you said, I finished only one race from 4 current races. So yeah, it's very difficult to driving for me in this game. Of course, I can say more. I'm like time trial hero, and I think I can set safely that I have a quite good pace. Because I can easily fight with the Jack, Rolowski and JJ on the best times in the time trials, but the time trial isn't a current race. So as you said before, I felt more confident in 2020. The driving style maybe changed a little bit, but surely I made more stupid decisions in 2020 that you, I think, remember those my all penalty points and all mistakes that I made last season. For now, I don't have any opportunity to show my skills. Maybe only the Monaco, but Monaco was a little bit lucky for me. If I will say something, I have already now, I just checked, 275 hours in 2021, while I had 477 hours in 2020. So it's almost a half of those hours that I had. And I'm not still feeling this game. It's like very random for me in every single race and every single even lap in the time trial. So I cannot feel the movement of this game still, and I'm not quite happy with this one. It's like feeling, as we mentioned before, it's like driving with the paper cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's harder to be consistent in this game because the cars aren't too unpredictable.
Yeah.
I think we have a different driving style from time trial to the race. Because in the time trial, we don't care if we spin or have anything, so we go climb over the curbs. We don't care. But I think in a race, I go a little bit slower because I don't want to do any stupid mistakes, because the game just says that that curb is an instant spin. It doesn't really make any sense, but I personally lift up a bit in the race, so I think I could be faster if I dealt with these issues.
Okay, sorry.
I think it's the game. I personally, the curbs in these games are so stupid.
I can
Especially
agree
the
with
curbs. Especially the curbs. And I'm glad we didn't race in the second race. I don't remember the name.
Grand Prix, the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands, because those curbs were awful. I couldn't do like 2 laps in the straights, one after the other. You know, I spun. So I'm thankful we didn't race in that.
Yeah, but it was also in the 2020 with curbs in Netherlands. Like, it was one of the tracks that was really unforgivable when you go on this curb, especially on turn 1 and the turn before the
the fast right-hander. I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there was even we saw JJ spinning a lot in the corner. The corner right after the hairpin was a bit tricky also.
Yeah.
I think you can't even touch that curb, so you instant spin. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let's maybe talk just on of the drivers that are unexpectedly on this position. And when what I mean about from this is Ovsky, who is P11 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we won't talk about JJ because we talked about him last episode
Yeah.
a little bit, and maybe let's talk about Bartes because he is P18, which surely is unexpected, especially when you look at his time trials, because in the time trial he looks really strong. On every track almost he got like top 3 in our league. So yeah, is it only bad luck or he is just inconsistent in the race?
I think it's a combination of two. I didn't race him like closely, but I can tell he is a very fast driver. But I think I don't know if it was mistakes or inconsistently. I think he's very fast and he has the opportunity to fight in the front, but unfortunately he had his mistakes or spins, or I don't know what happened to him. But he is very fast and he can fight at the front. So I think it's a matter of time. So he climbs up the order.
Yeah. I agree, and yeah, that you answered already the question I wanted to ask. So
Okay.
he's going to climb up, and yeah, you said he will, and yeah, probably. I mean, I hope so because yeah, he is my former teammate, so I wish him well in this league, and yeah, we will see. But Ovsky, he is P11 with 12 points, and can he hold it really?
I don't want to be mean, but I don't think so. I think he unlocked his true potential in this race, but I think the guys before him are just too quick.
Yeah, but then where can he end up in the standings at the end of the season?
Like looking at the standings, I think probably P15, P13 actually, to be.
It will be safe to say like P13 definitely, because I don't want to sound rude or something, but can we say that it was a little bit lucky in this race? Of course, that was unexpected that Ovsky will jump onto P3, of course P4 for now because the results was later, but we need to ask a question that he's able to make it again. Like if you all said that Ovsky in the next race will be again P4, would you believe that?
No.
No,
I think he also know about this. He's scoring the big points when he can, and he's fighting probably for this 1 point when he have the opportunity to fight. Because looking realistically on the grid we have this season, which is really strong, there is no much drivers he can fight, because it's like Matex, Luoniev, Vixie, Insidious, maybe Trujillo and Bartosz.
I think if he got his mind together, I think he could score some 1 point or 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if he unlocked his true potential, I think he's going to be a contender for like P10 to P13.
But we need to remember that it's first season that Ovsky jumped into the wheel because he was driving on the controller. So he's still learning how to drive on this wheel. So
it's his first season on the wheel.
Yeah.
So congrats to him. He gained my respect just because of that. He's a hard transition. So yeah, congratulations to him.
Okay, let's move to the team standings because we are already almost 1 hour in this podcast and we are still in the second part. Okay, so yeah, still AlphaTauri P1, Red Bull P2, nothing changed, but P3 and P4 changed is Haas and Mercedes, of course, because of this amazing results by AdGamer. by AdGamer and Wasser. Yeah, and I want to ask you the same question which I asked about Ovsky. Will they or you at Gamer hold this position till the end of the season?
I think
And
P3
if
no, but
okay,
P4 I believe so. If me and Crazy put our act together and drive strongly every race consistently, don't do any mistakes, I think we can fight for the P4 in the constructors. And also saying that Ferrari's in P5, so that's unbelievable. I think Syntax and JJ are two amazing drivers, but they've been unlucky. So I think they can fight for P3, probably P2.
Our time will come, but
Yeah,
I will.
Absolutely, your time will come.
But Debe, I want to ask you: isn't that a very sad looking into Aston Martin have 13 points and almost Alfa Romeo have 12 points? When I think Aston Martin should be like, where is the Williams in current position? What is happening with the Aston Martin?
I don't know if I want to answer this question. It was quite unlucky. I feel like in Italy and also in Spain, I think I had the pace to score some big points, but yeah, unfortunately, I feel it on my own skin that the car are from paper or something, because it was like 60 or 70 kilometers per hour, and when I hit the wall and the wheel just crashed.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of unlucky. I really hope that next race we'll get at least in front of the Alpine and start to climb up, because as I said before season, it was before I went to the off traction control, but I think we can fight for this P3 P5 range. So yeah, I really hope we can make it with Trujillo, who I hope he will be racing this time. Yeah. So maybe let's move a little bit from the standings, but not yet to the prediction, because I want to ask about the league situation to you at Gamer, because you are fresh driver in our league, and I want to ask you, how do you feel here with us, and what was your expectation before joining, and if there is something we can change or add to the league system. So yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, I come to the racing league. I had some previous knowledge of some leagues. I expected just to came, race, and then leave. Just repeat that. I think this league is unbelievable. The amount of the community work, the commentators, the FRL press. It's an amazing community, and I think everyone in it is it's really nice. Except my teammate, it's a bit toxic. I also I say it every time I talk to him. I say this. He says it's just for fun. It doesn't mean any harm. But I think it's an amazing community. I really loved this server and this league. I think you have really potential to be one of the top leagues, not professional but amateur. I think you guys, the admins and everyone is a congratulations. It's an amazing league.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, we already talked. I mean, Crazy changed a little from the beginning when he
Definitely.
was with us in season one. So I really appreciate that, because
he's a unique sort of speaking. You have to understand
he's
him.
our little shiny star, because no one is like him here.
It was like Verstappen
In the earlier years, yeah.
To the.
I think I made this comparison. I don't know if I speak to them, but it's put him better. I think he reminds me a bit of Verstappen in the earlier years. I don't know if it's that stupid, but it reminds me of him.
Okay,
so
what's Noah?
Now we can head finally to the prediction for
Yay!
our next Grand Prix. So the French what is the track name?
Oh my god.
Paul Ricard.
Yeah, Paul
Yeah.
Ricard, exactly. So yeah, as I can see, we already know who is going to win probably here. Yeah,
I think it's quite tricky to say.
I mean this circuit is all about the raw pace, I think, and yeah, there shouldn't be as much DNFs as before. What do you think?
It really depends. If there's rain, you should expect DNFs. That's
yeah,
the obvious.
but look at the situation when you crashed almost every time when you're hitting the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically in this game it is like this.
I had a contact with Matex and it destroyed me totally. So in last game, you know that when I almost torpedoed Graxent on the Bahrain, and he even got any collisions, and he was able to like jump on the fight. But now, when you touch someone, it's so risky that you will lose your wheel. So there is no chance to contact to fight like wheel to wheel with other drivers. So maybe that's
it's
why.
too risky.
Yeah.
We can't just do a clean overtake. And for example, I had a crash with Jack at the max at 50 kph and it broke my front wing. It's I can't believe it.
Okay, let's start with Sentex this time because I think it's quite surprising that there is no even one Ferrari driver in the prediction. So yeah, let's hear your explanation.
I prefer to say safely that in my predictions that there wouldn't be any Ferrari, but maybe in the race we'll jump on 2-3. I don't know. It was really hard for me to predict the French GP, and if I will be in the top 5, I will be quite happy because it will be still a very important point for Ferrari, because we didn't score points since my win on the Monaco, because JJ scored his first point in Silverstone. Yeah, then was Monaco, and that's all. We didn't score any points since then, so it should be really difficult. And why I didn't put myself in there, because I don't like French GP and the Paul Ricard track. It is very boring for me, and yeah, that's all. That's all. I don't like this map, to be honest.
I don't think anyone does French GP. It's just so confusing, the track layout.
Okay, so maybe you, AdGamer now, explain your.
My predictions.
Yeah.
I took it safe. I think Orlovsky is. You guys put in P1. I think it's a league of its own. Jack's amazing pace. Perfection. If he can't keep it up with Orlovsky and Jack, so I put the two Red Bull teams, the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri, together, because I think they are the top two teams right now. And I gave a little hope to Sentex because I think if he can put his mind together, I think he can score even higher than P5.
I would love to, but I'm not so confident as I was after the race in Monaco. Something's changed. I don't know why. I will try to figure it out, but I don't think so that French GP wouldn't unlock my ability to drive and score some big points. I hoping and counting for the second half of the season, because there are mostly my main tracks, so I want to jump in there and score some big points.
My predictions is like the podium is something I expect really. The P4 and P5 is like it can be anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's start with the podium. Like Krolowski, as I said before, this track I think it's just the pure pace exam, because there is no much places when you can like mess up that big, and the slight understeer or oversteer is forgiven there. So yeah, I think by the pure pace, I think Krolowski, JJ Sentex should take the podium. And yeah, the P4 and P5 could be anyone. I thought about Crazy Boy, who won last time here. But as I saw this season, every time someone feels great on track, or at least really good and confident, he DNFs or makes a really bad result, like starting from Monaco JJ, then in Italy I feel strong and I DNF. In Spain, Pefixan, who really liked this track, finished P11. So yeah, every time something goes wrong for the driver that likes the track. So we'll see what will happen with Crazy. Also, there could be a Bartes who shows amazing pace. Also today, in the practice 5 lappers, he shows that he has this pace. He can fight with Jack easily. So if I see him on P4 this time, that shouldn't be surprising. And yeah, and Drake, Drax, and of course they can also fight for this P4. Myself, if everything goes correct, then P5 is the goal. And yeah, that's I think my explanation for the prediction.
I
Nice.
think they are all possible predictions. I know we can't like predict the positions, but I think they are all possible.
Yeah.
I mean, if it ends like Centex predicted, I would be surprised, to be honest. I can't find.
Yeah.
It really. It would be really surprising if it ends like this. I will give him a beer if it ends like this.
We need to make for the next season some bits, like for example,
Some
we'll
bets.
make some bets in the Excel. We'll make some schedule and we'll try to get some predictions.
I wanted already to create something like this with the server currency, but it's too much work to create a bot with this. And yeah, I give up on this idea. But yeah, there was an idea of creating like bet system for like at least not only like who wins or who will be on the podium, but also head-to-head bets, etc., etc.
Would be interesting.
We need
It could be. It could really.
We need to get back to our bingo.
Maybe. Yeah, so we have like maybe 7 or 12 minutes more, so we can go to the real F1. We are heading this weekend to Mexico City Grand Prix.
Mexico.
It's not like it's not Mexican Grand Prix, it's Mexico City Grand Prix. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's Mexico
That's
City.
strange.
Yeah, and who will end in podium? Who do you think? What gamer?
I think I'm going to do a safe bet and do Verstappen, Hamilton, and Perez.
Okay, Sentex.
I think it could be Hamilton, Verstappen, and Bottas.
I disagree with you again because
I'm counting on Red Bull, to be honest, more than on the Mercedes. But Mercedes just needs very much those points, and I think, as I remember, Bottas could be fighting on the Mexico. Of course, Sergio would not let him to do that because he's like his own home race, so he should need to be in a very high position. But it's hard, it's hard to predict us in our league what top 4, top 5 could be looking like, because I think it's safe to say that the current season in real F1 is also very crazy, as we had, for example, the Hungarian GP that no one was expecting that Ocon will win, of course. For example, of course, that anything could happen.
yeah, In my opinion, because Mercedes seems like the car struggling in the conditions in the Mexico, because it's like more than 2,000 meters above
In altitude, above
above
the sea.
the sea. Yeah, so it known that the Mercedes is struggling there, and I expect if nothing happen between Hamilton and Verstappen, it will be probably Verstappen, Perez, and Hamilton. Also, I expect to Ferrari being somewhere near podium. I really
I
like.
I think
Go.
probably McLaren to be closer to the podium than Ferrari, because McLaren have an amazing straight line speed in the first straight is just huge. So I think it's going to be interesting for the top three and the constructors in real life.
Yeah, for sure. And about next season, did you hear that there will be more the sprint races, and they want to change the point system in it? Yeah,
In 2026, yes,
yeah,
a
yeah.
long time away.
If they change the regulation about the engine, but they probably will, so Porsche probably will come.
That he wouldn't be Porsche wouldn't be entering as a team. It would be an engine supplier for Red
Yeah,
Bull.
yeah, probably.
It was a wasted opportunity for me, but
Or maybe McLaren, because I don't know if I'm correct right now. If there was a team like McLaren Porsche before. But
yeah,
what I wanted to ask, what do you think of sprints in general? Do you like them or not?
probably I would say no. I think sprint races the drivers have the opportunity to climb places, but they prefer not to take risks. For example, Perez I think it was the first sprint race in Silverstone. He had an amazing fight. I don't know if it was Ricciardo or Norris, but yeah, no, it was a McLaren. He crashed, and his weekend was ruined because of it. So I think in sprint races, drivers won't take any risks. So I think sprint races are quite boring. The possibility of just 15, 10 laps flat out, I don't think that's true. I think drivers are more conservative because they want to keep that position for the race. And the race they can play with more with the strategy and gain positions that way. It's my opinion.
Yeah, sure. And what, because you said it's not worth the risk because it's like 3 points and maybe position in the next race in Sunday. But what if they change the point system of the races, like to probably maybe not probably, but maybe the old system from Formula One, so 10 points for win, 8 for P2, P6 for P3, I think, and then 5 for 3, 2, 1 to P8.
I think it would be better because drivers are encouraged to take more risks in the sprint qualifying, but I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, so you are not a fan of sprint races. Me
No,
also.
no.
And Santix, because I saw also on chat that Bartes also isn't a fan of
Yeah.
of sprints. But what do you think?
It could be quite interesting if you will look it like, for example, I will connect what AD Gamer said. Drivers don't want to take a risk because it will cost them a lot, but it's like a small race that we can still watch as they competing with each other. But I think if I will set, I will still prefer the normal qualifications. But those sprints, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. If I will say something, I prefer the normal old one. But about the current point system, I think the current one is the better, because it allows you to score more points, and those changes, as we can see for now in the Constructor Championship, it's quite fun to look when also the Mercedes and Red Bull can earn almost 400 points, but it's so small amount of points between them that every single race could bring more action and more competitive scenes for the next races, that every single race is getting more and more important for them.
Yeah. And do you have any question to us, Outgamer maybe, or Centix maybe? Do you have any topic in the behind or something?
No, I think everything was said today. I'm quite happy that AD Gamer is like our league and how it's going for now. Of course, I think I will say that our league also improved a lot, how it was looking in the season 2, season 1, and how it looks like right now. So it's safe to say that we're improving, and I hope you will stay with us a little bit longer, AD Gamer, and of course you will score some big points.
Yeah, I hope so too, and I'll be more than happy to participate in this podcast again. It was really fun.
Yeah, and if we can ask you, because maybe let's do this a thing of our podcast. It didn't happen this time because Bartes wanted Trolowski or JJ in this podcast, and of course because of the unexpected win, we invited you. So, but we want to ask you, who do you want in the next podcast with us?
Who do I want? As the first person that comes to mind is Crazy, because I will think it would be hilarious to see him here. But I think Rulowski has to be here to share his experience of winning the championship. But yeah, it would be fun to share his story and how the season is going for him.
I think we should leave the Crazy Boy as last our guest in the league.
We don't have that much races to invite everyone.
Yeah, I know.
For the next season,
yeah, maybe.
There
is 7 races, so yeah, 7 more people. We will see who will be the lucky guy. But
Rolowski looks like a very good idea, because it's a second driver that wants to hear what he have to say about the league and the races.
It will be also interesting after the half of the season to see his feelings about
I think it just a idea that came to mind just in half of the season to try to talk to most of the drivers, or the top 10 drivers, to say how the scene is going. I think it would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's some.
Just no, it should be on the podcast, or the for a press. It could be some short statements. I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
So, it will be everything for today, right, Debe?
Sure.
So, I will say big thanks, AD Gamer, that you showed in our podcast. I hope you enjoyed as we did.
A lot, yeah. I'll be back. I'll be happy to return to the podcast.
Okay,
Not
if you win,
I win again, but just to be here.
If you will win a next race, we'll invite you. You have that.
For the next podcast, I can promise, if you win French Grand Prix, I will make everything to get you back here with us on the next podcast. But
I don't know if I win, but I'll be happy to return, not as a winner, but just collaborate with you.
Yeah, so that will be everything for us from us for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If yes, just be welcome for the next episodes in the next weeks. But for now, we're focusing mainly on the Sunday race, French GP. I hope I wouldn't DNF'd. You too, Debe. And
thanks.
And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, and See you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Build the next powerhouse record label, that was my next plan. Drum work like Death Row in the 90s mixed with Def Jam. We the Def Squad, but I shoot solo on Rat Man. Right hand holding the steering wheel, busting back with my left hand. I'm still busting down the presidential Rolex band. Every day I collect bands, Lambo truck color eggplant. Look, you get front of the brick, better stack what you made.